You're listening to the Headlock Talkover podcast, where we like wrestling and we talk about wrestling with Jack and Jeremy.
Hello and welcome to the Headlock Talkover podcast, a podcast where we like wrestling and we talk about wrestling. I am Jeremy, nicknamed TBC. He is Jack the Seer. How you doing, Jack?
I'm very tired.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
I went to IKEA today.
That'll do it. You didn't jump through any tables.
I thought about it.
Yeah, I would have too.
Nearly put my wife through one. No.
Thank you very much for giving us your precious time by clicking on the video. Consider giving us a follow, or subscribe, because we'd love you even more if you did that. What the hell shall we talk about, Jack? Because it's been a week of wrestling following the Royal Rumble and Jey Uso's surprise win.
Something about Jey winning.
Yeah, lots of complaints about Jey winning.
Why?
I don't know. We're never happy.
I loved it.
We're never happy.
We moan that when the Rumble is too predictable and you know who's going to win.
Yep.
And that was a complete shock. Anyone can win the Rumble, and it was Jey Uso. I loved it.
The thing that I loved in particular about this Rumble is that going into it, everyone was like, well, anybody could win it, really. You've got Cena, you've got Punk, you've got Drew, you've got Roman, you've got all these options, and none of them came through.
I think Jey was 66 to 1 to win at the bookies.
Absolutely insane. Woo! Quids in if you went for that one. But I don't think anybody did.
I loved it. I've watched it back since.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Great Rumble.
Solid Rumble. And if you didn't like Jey Uso winning, grow up. That's the way it's going.
Yeah.
Raw following that, though, the Raw was quite quiet as far as that goes. I mean, you had Jey facing off with Gunther, and a lot of people were saying that there was no point in Jey winning the Royal Rumble a week after his failed championship attempt at Gunther. Mm-hmm. And Gunther, in one promo, immediately just turned that around.
Of course he did.
Yeah. He's that damn good. And he was like, I don't need to beat you. This does nothing for me. So I encourage you to go for Cody, because if I beat you again, it doesn't add anything. I have nothing to gain from beating you again. Mm-hmm. You're not worth my time to defend this championship. So that's even more reason for Jey to be like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going for your title just because I've got everything to gain and I want to make you look stupid. And it's similar to the Sami storyline from a year ago. Doesn't make it any less compelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan of that. As far as I can recall, I'm not sure if I'm forgetting anything here, that was the major talking point of Raw.
I've watched both Raw and SmackDown and I couldn't tell you a single thing.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte briefly confronted Rhea, but it wasn't all that exciting. What was more exciting regarding Charlotte is what happened on SmackDown, because she was really patronising to Tiffany. Mm-hmm. And Tiffany held her own, considering she's young. She hasn't been around all that long. She did really hold her own.
Yeah, Tiffany's got the character down. She's got the in-ring work down, but the mic work is she's yet to have like a good standout performance on the mic.
She needs to have that moment where she can come up with something really good off the top of her head, which I don't think she's done yet. And watching that promo, I was like, Tiffany, it's all there, because even I spotted it, because Charlotte was like, you're just a little girl, you're not the top of the business. And all Tiffany has to do is go, there's only one measure of what makes you the top of this business, and I've got it, and you don't. And that's the belt itself. It was an absolute easy hit, and she missed it, unfortunately. But saying that, I think Tiffany's going to be the option for Charlotte going into it.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll run back Rhea for a third time. That'll be the third Mania match they would have had.
They've traded wins and losses, haven't they? Yeah.
I don't think this is the time for that to happen. But have Tiffany go over Charlotte, that's big. Big statement to what you want to do for her. And then...
It's brave assuming that Tiffany will go over.
I think that might be hope speaking on my part, but there you go.
And then
Jey confronted Cody. It was civil for the most part, and then Cody sort of turned it around and was like, if you do choose me, I mean, this is it. We won't be friends until this is dealt with, which is good, but it really showcases that Gunther's the opponent, and then it's just a case of who Cody faces at Mania.
Yeah, it is a bit... It doesn't seem like... It seems like Jay Gunther is the one they want to go, but I would love to see Jay versus heel Cody.
Yeah.
With the history that they have, I think it would be great.
Do you think we're having heel Cody in the near future?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think we're sneaking into Homelander territory.
After I've had a funny feeling anyway, because it's been going on a long time now. Like, proper squeaky clean Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, of course.
And then that ladder match with Owens. I don't know if you saw it.
I saw the highlights of that particular match.
Him at the end when he's going up the ramp and then comes back down to stand over Owens with the belt. I was like, oh, this is a taste of heel Cody, and it's going to be great.
When it happens.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it is a case of when rather than if. I just don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon.
Well, that's if we've learned anything from Triple H telling stories, it's he likes a slow burn.
He sure does love a bloody slow burn. He's been doing it. He did it for like 4 years with DIY. I feel like that was a 4-year feud.
Well, Bloodline's been going on
since
5 years, maybe, at this point.
2020 pretty much. But they're just adding layers to it.
And then Cody actually finishing the story was, 2 years in the making?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. We also had a confrontation between Jimmy Uso, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre, which was something for SmackDown. Something completely refreshing.
I messaged you after I watched this, and I said, I don't know if this is a controversial opinion or not. Is Jimmy a better promo than Jay?
Yeah, I think on this occasion he might have been.
Because he looks a bit crazy when he speaks, because he's looking down, and you think, oh, is that just nerves? And then he'll look at them when he's saying something. It's like, oh,
he's emphasising the point, isn't he?
He looks absolutely mental, and I love it. It's great. He doesn't look like he's all there.
Obviously,
in a good way.
Backstage there was that rumour that Drew was very unhappy with LA Knight and the nature of his elimination.
Drew being backstage, throwing a hissy fit and leaving is basically Boy Who Cried Wolf at this point. I don't believe Drew gets pissed off at the smallest thing.
Very few do as well, which is good. But they made something out of it because when the LA Knight came down, aside from the fact he had to say, oh, I got my stuff in, which is what Drew's complaint was, he took a moment, and this was genius, he took a moment, stared directly down the camera and was sort of broke character and was like, as a man, it is okay to cry. And there's like, Drew, you goddamn crybaby. Really had to get that in, which was good. Makes him a nice little role model.
And you didn't see the little scrap?
No, I missed the scrap you were talking about, yeah.
So I can't remember which way around it is. I think Knight bumps into Drew accidentally. And then Knight is working Jimmy in the corner. Drew comes and just slaps him in the back of the head, just like not a hard slap. It's just like a fuck off,
but almost like disrespectful.
And then Knight turns around, punches him, and then one of them double legs the other, and it's one of those sort of, like a fight you'd see in a Weatherspoons on like a Saturday night. It kind of looked like that. I think it was supposed to look like, oh, they've gone off script here. I don't think it was. I don't think it was because Drew was hitting him in the back, and it didn't look like a fight to me. It looked good. Like initially, it was kind of like, whoa, right.
It doesn't stop them trying their best, does it?
Yeah, I mean, fair play. They tried something, and they've obviously come up with that very quickly after all these reports have come out.
Yeah, absolutely. They do think quick on their feet. So, yeah, it's been fine so far.
I'd like to see a feud between those two as well, Knight and McIntyre.
Oh, I think that's bound to happen. That might be our WrestleMania match.
Because they've got a really strange history.
Yeah, but being almost in the same companies at the same time at certain points.
They debuted in TNA as a faction together. Or did Drew debut and then...
I'm not sure. With TNA timelines, I'm not sure.
I can't remember, but they were in a faction at one point called The Rising. I don't know why I remember this. But it was LA Knight as Eli Drake, McIntyre, and I can't remember what Tangaloa's name in... Micah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all coming back to
Galloway,
me now.
Micah, and Drake.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were part of a faction. So there's a funny, like, history there that they... Well, they could play it off, I guess, because they started mentioning TNA.
Yeah, it's whether they have pushed Tama as a singles guy.
Oh, no, he can...
I'm sure he can. It's whether WWE will.
He can go away.
Just one of those.
He's been missing off TV for how long, and no one's noticed.
Oh, no, not Tongaloa, Tama Tonga.
No, Tongaloa.
No, was it Tongaloa?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the thing when they've got the same surname and first name in WWE, you get confused between the two.
Tama could be a singles guy, yeah, because he's... Whatever he's doing is amazing. Yeah, Tangaloa hasn't been on screen since War Games.
Yeah, I think so. He might have got injured during War Games.
No one's really noticed.
No, he's the one that nobody really cares about now.
And he's Haku's biological son.
I know. It's mad, isn't it? Yeah.
Crikey.
Okay. So what we'll do, just before we jump into the little game we've got planned, is we'll just address the unfortunate releases that have happened this week as well. At time of recording, like 7 or 8 people have been released from the WWE.
Let's try and do this. Sonya Deville.
Yes.
I thought I'm out already.
Paul Ellering. AOP.
Authors of Pain. Yeah.
Isla Dawn.
Yeah. Elektra
Lopez. There was someone else. Cedric Alexander.
That's it.
I think that was it.
I saw a report this morning, and I've searched for it since, but I can't find it again. So maybe it's just made up that Corey Graves and Carmella had been released.
That would be wild.
And I saw it. I sort of put my phone down and went, hang on. And then I lost it and I couldn't find it again. So I don't know if my brain just went...
You would have seen it again if it really was the case. So I don't think they've lost their jobs.
Yeah, I don't know.
So on the one hand, very, very unfortunate that all of those people are out of a job. We never want wrestlers to be out of
Blair
a job.
Davenport
was one I've forgotten as well. On the flip side, jump back to my predictions at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. You're halfway right.
So I said one of LWO / Legado del Fantasma, one of the White Six, one of... Who are the others?
Final Testament.
I said Final Testament. I think there was one other faction. And I said one member from each would be released throughout the year. And I'm already halfway there, and it's February.
So you've got LWO need to release someone.
Oh, yeah, and White Six.
LWO will either...
They're pretty strong as a faction. A lot of them have...
They won't release a single one. They'll release them as a tag team, I think.
Maybe, but Ray's still part of LWO, so...
Yeah, they're not releasing Ray.
No, of course not. And then we think, based on current things, it'd probably be Joe Gacy.
I reckon they'll keep all of them for now, especially with Bliss back.
Oh, yeah.
She might be able to breathe some life into the White Six stuff, because there is history there. I mean, she's come back with Lily the Doll.
Yeah, that was a nice touch.
All of her T-shirts have a little 6. I don't know if you've noticed that. They got a little 6 in the eyeball.
Yeah, I did notice that, actually.
Of it. So I think they'll do something. And they'll be smart if they start doing... Do you remember what The Fiend used to do? Where when he was targeting someone, something would appear in the background.
Yeah, of course.
And it got loads of people talking. They'd be smart if they started doing that again. Yeah, but with Bliss.
I reckon they'll be leading this up to a swerve, possibly. Because Bliss is, very strong face in her current gimmick since she's been on weekly TV after the Rumble.
Bliss is one of those characters where I think if she were to join the Wyatt Six, it would turn the entire Wyatt Six face.
Yeah, because, I don't know what they are at the moment, because, Miz and the Final Testament, they're not faces. So I think Wyatt Six are faces.
Bliss has the most on-screen history with Bray as well.
Yeah, of course.
Out of all those. Mm-hmm. I know that Bo is Bray's real-life brother, but they only sort of cross paths once or twice.
And it was a tag team thing where they were on opposite sides.
On screen, yeah. But Bliss and Randy, maybe.
Rowan as well. I think those are the three.
Oh, Christ, yeah. It just goes to show there. Yeah, it goes to show how long they've been on television for and just not been used.
Yeah, absolutely wild. But yeah, I think that's where they're going with that. I don't want people to lose their jobs, but I kind of want my predictions to be right. So
it's definitely to make room for NXT call-ups.
Gotta be.
I think
they've got, particularly all the female releases.
Roxanne's coming up.
God knows who else. Stacked NXT women's roster.
I said to you privately, I don't think Vacor's going to win a title in NXT. I think she's going straight to main.
Yeah, I reckon you're right with that one.
That pop that she got at the Rumble, I think, because she's got such a presence about her. I know Julia is incredible, but you need to look at her a couple of times and sort of get what she's about. Whereas Vacor can just it's that airport test.
Yeah, you quite literally said that during our Royal Rumble reactions episode. As soon as Vacor got that pop, he was like, "Was because you know."
You can take one look at her and you know what she's about. Like when she came out of the Rumble and just stands there, you're like, oh, okay, she's badass.
Yeah,
this is going to be good.
When Julia comes out, obviously we know how badass Julia is, but if you just look at her at face value, she's another woman on the roster.
Yeah.
It's only when she gets to do her thing in the ring is that she really shines.
And you see the character a couple of times. I just like how confused she looks all the time. She's just always looking at people like... I love it. I don't know if it's deliberate or if it's a character thing.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
All right. Is there anything you want to talk about from the Royal Rumble or the past week that we may have forgotten? Because I think I've covered everything I can think of.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right. So what we're going to do is jump in to like a game, I guess. I want to call it that. Jeremy's going to add the little graphic behind us now. And we've got, bigger than I thought.
God, we're good.
Yeah, we are. We've got...
think you're Rod Stewart.
I am Rod Stewart.
Sick.
I got a little 3x3 grid here. We have great on the mic, decent on the mic, terrible on the mic, and great in ring, decent in ring, and terrible in ring. And we've got to fill them with our choices accordingly. You have a pre-prepared 3x3. I myself do not. I'll be doing this on the fly.
You sent me this picture about a week ago and said, do this. So I did, only to find out today that you just didn't.
Yeah.
So
I started it and then life got in the way. That's what happened. But we're going to do it anyway.
Fair enough. Right, don't look at my bit.
What celebrity square would you like to start with?
Should we start with... Let's start with great on the mic and work down.
Okay.
And then go decent in ring. And
So you want to do great on the mic, great in ring first.
Let's go up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrible on the mic, great in ring.
Yeah.
I hope you're matching my energy on this one because this is one of the ones I had ready to go.
I bet mine is very, very different.
More than likely because I got Dean Malenko.
Oh my God, me too.
That is the one.
Yes.
Yeah, no one else, I don't think, comes close to either ends of those spectrums.
Yeah.
Probably the best in-ring worker and one of the worst talkers the WWE's had.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
I nearly put Rick Steiner.
Oh, he's not terrible on the mic.
He is.
I don't think he is.
He is he's just extraordinarily bad at talking.
Yeah. I guess so. I don't know what more I can say about Dean Malenko. Anybody who knows Dean Malenko knows that that's the choice. I don't think there's another.
Yeah.
But I'm sure anybody that thinks of any, they'll let us know. But there we go. So when we get to the decent categories, I think that's where it gets a little trickier, even if it's decent on the one side. So if we go decent on the mic and great in ring.
Yeah.
Who have you got?
AJ Styles.
That is a good shout. He is decent, isn't he?
He is. He's not great, but he's perfectly serviceable on the mic.
Yeah, okay.
And probably the best in ring of all time.
You have no argument with me on that one, mate. Absolutely not. I'm going to go in a similar vein. I think he's definitely worse than AJ on the mic. I think he's better than a lot of people give him credit for. I'm going to put Ricochet in that slot.
Okay.
Great in the ring, undeniably. Mm-hmm. Where he stands on his mic skills is really up for debate. I think he's decent.
He's not terrible, is he? He's not like Jack Swagger levels of terrible.
Yeah. This current gimmick he's doing in AEW, he seems to be making it work on the mic, which I think was always his downfall. Mm-hmm. But it's by making him look like an idiot. So the fact that he's okay with making himself look stupid, I think, has helped his case a lot.
Yeah.
But that's my pick for decent on the mic, great in ring.
Fair enough, yeah.
Great on the mic and great in ring. I heard you mention a name that you've got in a different square. But when I saw this, I immediately went to Kurt Angle.
Right, okay.
I think he's fantastic on the mic. He's just a man in a boy's world, and he loves to play with boys.
He was, actually, yeah. As soon as you said that, I pictured him in a tiny cowboy hat. Yeah, brilliant.
Absolute genius. The comic timing. He's already got the in-ring work almost built into his DNA from all those years of wrestling.
Yeah.
And great on the mic. I can't say that he's not great on the mic.
Yeah, fair enough.
He brings such intensity with every feud he's ever been in.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Has to be him for me. Who have you got?
Asuka.
Again, I think that the mic skills are up for interpretation there, but I 100% see where you're coming from.
I recently just watched a clip of Asuka winning the 2020 Women's Money in the Bank case.
Right.
And she's just...
Or when she first opens the briefcase with the belt.
The room is completely silent because they're running through Titan Towers.
Yeah, of course.
But she is just yelling nonsense in Japanese, and it is perfect.
Even better, the Raw the next night when she realises she's won the title.
Yeah, when Becky says she's pregnant.
And she's losing her mind in the ring and hugging Becky and just so excited to have just been given the championship.
That popped into my mind, and then... when the Kabuki Warriors were first a thing.
Yeah.
And they had that gimmick of Asuka just yelling nonsense in Japanese with Kairi giggling.
Yeah.
They are the best promos.
Yeah.
Like, she understands the assignment perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely entertaining.
Yes.
Asuka is a lot of things. Like, boring is not one of them.
No.
Not by any stretch of the imagination. So you've won me round on that. I was on the fence, but
Okay.
you've definitely won me round on that. Let's go. Terrible on the mic, decent in ring. What do you reckon? Because I've got mine.
Sid.
Oh, okay. Sid is a good shout. Yeah. Granted, I actually haven't seen, aside from the memes, I haven't really seen many of Sid's promos. It's just the memes I've seen.
Yeah, well...
Let me do it again.
Yeah, just more of that,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
And your t-shirts are too tight. Was that Lex? I always get those two mixed up with their promos.
I can't remember.
Because they're both bad.
Him telling... Oh, which way around was it? But basically the punchline of his, you might be half the man that I am, but I have half the brain that you have. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And Sid was okay in the ring.
Yeah, fine. I'll certainly give you that. Curtis Axel. Or should I say McGillicuddy? Nobody will ever forget the age of McGillicuddy. As time went on, he was fine.
How did the son of Kurt Hennig
just be fine on
just be a charisma black hole? I just don't. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I just think of like the worst promos of all time, and McGillicuddy's up there. And Curtis Axel was absolutely fine in the ring.
Yeah.
He certainly wasn't terrible. He was nowhere near his dad's level.
He's one of those solid workers, wasn't he? That you could just...
That's why they kept him around and put mid-card belts on him, I think, because they could get a good match out of him regardless. He just had to be kept away from the stick.
Yeah. Do you remember when he was a Heyman guy?
Yeah.
Didn't he beat Triple H on Raw?
Probably.
Oh my God.
That sounds right. Now we got the hardest square of all. Because I got nothing. It might take me a moment to think of this with decent on the mic and decent in ring. But you also said this is probably the one where most people fit in it.
Mm-hmm.
Who have you got?
Maybe slightly controversial, but I put Bayley.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think it's an inconsistency thing. Bayley has had fantastic matches and fantastic promos, but she's also had bad matches.
She's
had
promos. She's had fantastic moments. The matches themselves, I think, were more character driven rather than work rate driven. Like the one that springs to my mind is the Iron Woman match in NXT, and that was more from a character standpoint because she's an underdog.
Of course.
And can she beat Sasha Banks.
Yeah. You're comparing it to the newer Karen character that came out during lockdown.
Yeah, because she hasn't got that underdog thing to fall back on. I think
it's just her yelling at Michael Cole for the better part of
it. Yeah, she's just... I mean, she's good. She's good in the ring.
Of course.
She's far from the worst female on the roster, but she's not great, I don't think. And her promo skills are okay.
I think that's fair.
But
I think you're right in going down the female route here for decent and decent. I think I'll put Trish in there, actually.
Stratus.
Yeah, I think so. Hindsight's a funny thing. If you'd have asked me this question in 2005, I never would have said Trish Stratus. But women's wrestling has come a long way in 20 years. And even now, she's still perfectly serviceable at both. She's never blown me away with a promo or a match that I can recall.
Her promo skills were always a bit weird. Like when she had that weird run a couple of years ago with Becky, I thought her promos, I remember them sounding really weird, and she sounded like a sort of, like, sounds really weird, just like a bitchy old woman when she spoke, and it was like, I'm so pissed off I'm even talking to you right now. And but it worked because she's a veteran.
Certainly is
would
a veteran.
Be the polite way to put it, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think it worked for her character then. But yeah, she was always decent in the ring, wasn't she?
Yeah. I can't remember having a bad match, but not a fantastic match either. She's perfectly middle of the road in both respects, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that.
Fair enough.
Great on the mic and decent in ring. I think when you get to these other two with great on the mic, there aren't many people who can talk the talk and can't really walk the walk. You've got some spicy meatballs tucked away, have you? Who you got?
I put Stone Cold.
Okay. I'm absolutely fine with that, you know. I think it's a difficult category to fill. I think Stone Cold really borders on great in the ring.
Post-injury Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Because he was never the same performer. It was that more brawling style. And when I say decent, it was that standard wrestling formula where you know what you were getting with a Stone Cold match. You were going to get a stunner. You were going to get the Luthez press. You know what I mean? But it was all character. Excuse me. It was all character work with Stone Cold. Great on the mic. I mean, that's completely undeniable. He's one of the best.
Yeah, people will have a problem with that. I'm not sure how I feel on it, just because he's had such iconic matches in the past. Okay. I still have no idea who I'm going to put in that slot, though. I said most people who are fantastic on the mic can't really back it up too much.
What led me to Stone Cold was I originally put LA Knight, and then thought, hang on, who do I know that sounds like LA Knight?
Yeah, of course.
And then we sort of went down.
That's fine. I've just realised my opinion is equally as controversial as yours. I think Cody Rhodes goes in there.
Yeet.
Cody Rhodes can sell a feud like very few can. He puts his opponents over without making himself the absolute centre of it. His matches aren't that great.
I mean, you could go even spicier and say Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, I did think Dusty for a second, then I realised some of the fun we've had watching Dusty matches in previous episodes.
Yeah.
Like the ECW one comes to mind. It was just fun.
Yeah.
And that was during the latter part of his career as well.
Yeah, all I can remember from that match is him pulling his trousers up mid-match.
Trousers are always falling
while
down.
He's getting smacked with a cowbell by Steve Carino.
Absolutely.
My trousers
brilliant.
are coming down, Daddy.
Down on my knees, baby. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, I'm happy with seeing Cody Rhodes there, I think. Now.
We better have the same one here.
I might have to have a little think. Because there's going to be a few, I'm sure.
I mean, there's one that is just crying out.
That doesn't mean I'm going to think of it.
No.
Ooh. Terrible on the mic and terrible in ring. Go on.
Do you want me to go for mine? Might give you some inspiration.
Yeah, go on.
The Great Khali.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I've never been wowed by a Great Khali promo. I couldn't name you a Great Khali promo. Apart from when he was kissing Natalia. And as far as matches go, I saw no evidence of a match. I heard a bell. I saw him do something.
There was just a massive plank of wood walking around for 5 minutes.
But there was
really
no match.
Struggling.
I once saw him get chokeslammed by Kane.
Mm-hmm.
That was it, really.
I can't think of anyone better than that, so I have to agree with you. Granted,
Mabel.
We have to...
Big Daddy V. I don't know.
Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Just another big man who can't really speak English, so it's not their fault that they're terrible on the mic.
Just giants getting bigger and bigger.
It's literally Vince just going, you're tall. Can you speak English? No, we'll make it work.
It's fine.
Just because you're tall. Yeah, either of those two, I think. Jesus Christ.
Or Eva Marie was who I had
I
first.
was trying to think, because I knew there'd be a female wrestler that we could put in there. But no, Great Khali's the option, I think.
But that was her gimmick when she came back, wasn't it? She had that second run.
Yeah.
Where she was ducking out of matches for stupid reasons. Yeah.
Okay. Decent on the mic and terrible in ring. Lay it on me. Go on. Who you got?
This is going to seem really unfair. Maxine Dupree.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you may be proven wrong in time with that one, but right now, yeah, she is terrible.
I'd be happy to be proven wrong. She's got better. I think it's because they've worked out what to do with her. When she came out in the Rumble, I remember we said, oh God, do you remember what she did last time where she tried to do that Hurricane Rana on Rhea and slipped and just fell on the floor and then did it again?
Yeah.
This being like the whole scared of everybody getting in and then doing a big move and celebrating, I think is really good.
Yeah, this last Royal Rumble really showed that they've turned a corner in terms of what they can do with Maxine.
I wouldn't put her in there with with a Stephanie Vacour and expect a 5-star match.
She's not going to be a work rate queen, is she? Not by any stretch. But who do I put there? Because I'm sure there's someone better than Maxine that can go in that slot. For decent on the mic and terrible in ring. I can probably think of a fair few people who are terrible in ring, but they're probably also terrible on the mic, which is the problem.
I'd have put Ricochet there.
You think he's terrible in ring?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Just grenade, throw, walk away.
I do notice we've pretty much only put WWE wrestlers in here, though.
I did think that, but then I haven't watched AEW for such a long time at this point. Where would you have put MJF, just out of interest?
See, my feelings, like many people's, have soured in the last year or so. So I think if you'd asked me 2 years ago, I think he'd have gone in great and great.
Great on the mic is without question. He was
I think
decent.
He's decent now. A couple of years ago, he was certainly great. The way I used to describe MJF to you is MJF is a better talker than he is a wrestler. And he's a great wrestler.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd have put him in great at that point. He is teetering on decent now because he's just starting to lose steam,
He's becoming a parody of himself, I think. I saw, I don't know if you follow James Romero's YouTube channel.
No, I don't.
But he started doing like little videos of him breaking stuff down by himself. He's the video that I watched break down the fight between McIntyre and Knight. But he did a little breakdown of when MJF basically mentioned Cody Rhodes to Goldust, and that was the first time I've seen him do a promo or anything for a while. And I was like, it's the grin, and there's been no character development for the past, especially since this whole Adam Cole thing.
Yeah,
both performers just aren't the same, aren't the same anymore. But
I'm gonna go rogue here. because this is in the same echelon as our previous picks, but he was a much bigger star because he was kind of better on the mic and spoke much better English, but he was also hampered by the same issues. And I'm going to go with Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Again, certainly not his fault, but he was such a spectacle, they couldn't not put him on TV.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of Andre, you think of the big matches. So you think Mania against Hogan, and him, he can't even get up by himself. No. He has to use the ropes to get up, and terrible, not through his own fault. It was his body breaking down at that point.
No, of course. Correct me if I'm wrong. He had a mouthpiece most of the time, didn't he?
Heenan.
Was it him most of the time? Because obviously I've heard Andre talk. I'm sure he would have talked on TV as well.
Yeah, he spoke on TV.
He pretty much just spoke in an angry voice, and it got the point across that he was just an angry French man who was going to rip your head off. So it certainly did the job, and that's why I think it's decent. But in terms of his in-ring ability, he was just hampered, unfortunately, by his own body, and it went on a little too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my pick.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right. Great on the mic and terrible in ring. I've just thought of mine. Not technically a wrestler.
Okay.
But they've wrestled some bloody matches.
Right.
Eric Bischoff.
Oh. Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I almost said Jonathan Coachman. But I'm going to stick with Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's had some matches, and they weren't good.
Fair enough.
Go on.
I originally put Hulk Hogan. And then I changed my mind because at one point he was quite good in the ring.
Oh,
I think he was one of those, he was like a Cena where he had a formula, stuck to it, knows what works.
But I also think when he was doing stuff with the NWO, he could improvise and make something work on the fly.
Yeah.
So he did show that he could do that stuff even in the later years of his career.
Yeah.
So that would be unfair, I think, to put him in there.
When you gave me this task to fill this out originally, I asked you if we could. Are they active wrestlers or are they retired or can we put wrestlers that have passed in? And you said any.
Yep.
And I told you good because my initial thought was Warrior.
Yeah. Is that what you went with?
Yeah.
See, I do think that's unfair.
No, he was crap. He was crap
I think
in the ring.
Unfair.
But and promos it depends what you like, really. But you ask a wrestler, or if you were to search for a video of a wrestler doing an Ultimate Warrior promo, they have the best time in doing it. And I've not seen a Warrior promo where I've just not had a big grin on my face.
It's like Savage. Obviously, Savage is better in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you come away from a Warrior promo going, what the fuck was that? I think it's amazing.
The ramblings of a madman.
In ring.
That's what it is.
Awful. But yeah.
I think that's harsh, and any of the Warrior fans watching this are going to think you're incredibly harsh, and will tell us so in the comments, I'm sure. Were there any others you considered that you just want to throw out there? Because, I mean, decent and decent. We could throw 100 in that, I think.
I nearly put Cena in great on the mic and decent in the ring.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I kind of wanted to go away from the obvious.
It's those fringe cases, like the people who are stars but aren't of that level. So Rock, no question, I think goes in great.
Yeah.
Like Damian Priest, for instance, where would he go on this? That's a tricky one for me because he really
decent.
He borders in that decent great square of four there.
It depends who he's against.
It really bounces between them depending on any given day.
Because great, I'd stick McIntyre in that.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah. No, he's being an absolute menace.
Because he has not had a match recently that hasn't been like an almost must-see match.
Yeah.
Like
every match he's had this year, I've wanted to see.
He always does something in the match that gets people talking. Same with his promos.
Whereas I'd throw Sheamus in decent, great. Decent on the mic, great in ring.
Great in ring, definitely.
I don't think he's great on the mic. He can't build a feud like some of the greats.
No, you're right.
But everything that Sheamus has done for the last 3 years, especially on pay-per-view, I've wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Which pay-per-view was it? I think it was was there a Saudi one in December, or am I making that up?
I'm not sure.
It might have been Survivor Series, and it was the triple threat match, the IC triple threat match.
That was Mania, wasn't it?
No, Sheamus, Kaiser, and Braun.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. I thought you meant the Gunther, McIntyre triple threat.
On paper, you think, yeah, it's fine. It's going to be fine. And then you forget it's Sheamus and his hard hits, and it's Braun Breaker and his breakneck speed, and then Kaiser and his wits and his stupid, sexy body. Am I right, Jack? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Really hot.
And it just makes for this amazing concoction of a match. And then when Sheamus has been facing Braun one-on-one, like when he faced him at Saturday Night's Main Event, incredible.
Yeah.
Stole the show. If Sheamus is on pay-per-view, he tends to have match of the night.
Yeah. It's been that way for a long time.
And I think he's finally getting his flowers, and he needs to win that fucking IC Championship at this Mania. He needs to win it. I know you watch us, Triple H. Just do it.
Where would you put Triple H, speaking of?
The game. See, I was thinking of Triple H while we were going through this, and we have this distinct problem when it comes to Triple H and previous pay-per-views we've covered in previous episodes. Triple H, without a shadow of a doubt, is the wrestler we talk over the most when it comes to his matches.
It's because they're all self-serving and they go on about 3 hours.
Yeah, if you go back and watch any of our previous episodes where there's a Triple H match on the card, that's the match where we get distracted and go off on massive tangents for pretty much the whole match. I go back to TLC 2011 when he faced Kevin Nash in the Sledgehammer Ladder match.
Oh, Christ.
We just talked about random shit over that 25-minute match. So, he's not terrible in the ring. It would be ridiculous for me to say that he was. But he's definitely indecent. He's not in great for that reason. Where he is on the mic, I think I have to put him in great. Purely for still what he's doing now in putting the company over.
He's always been good. Like that DX doing the whole goofy heels thing was so good. And I know the DX reissue, as I'm going to call it, got a lot of flack because it was all, oh, you've done a poo.
Yeah.
And poo jokes
It
and
was all
fart
jokes like that,
and
yeah.
gay and that humour. But for what it was, it sold a lot of T-shirts. It sold a lot of T-shirts with chickens on.
14-year-old me
because they were cocks.
had one, but not the cock one. I just had the DX one. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, when he was with Shawn Michaels, yeah, absolutely great because they could bounce off each other. Heel promos as well, he was quite good, like Reign of Terror.
Oh, yeah,
it was all you hated him.
Well, it was like the stuff he had with Booker T, as thinly veiled as it was, definitely came across as an asshole. So, yeah, but definitely just decent in ring. I can't think of many Triple H matches I would actively want to go back and rewatch, and if I do, it's not because of him.
Maybe the Warrior match.
Just to see him get beaten
Just a squash match on. Was it Mania? Or was it SummerSlam?
I don't know.
I can't remember. No, it was Mania. It was Triple H's first Mania, wasn't it?
Oh, there we go. But you go back to like the triple threat of WrestleMania 20. I'd go back and watch that, but I'm not watching it for Triple H.
Yeah, true.
I'm watching it for the other two and what they do.
All right, one more.
Okay.
Where would you put Bret Hart?
Oh, that's unfair. Green ring, no doubt.
The most decent there was, the most decent there is.
But is he terrible? on the mic. Oh, they put the World Championship on him. He can't be that bad on the mic. Surely. No, I think great in ring and decent on the mic is fine.
That's exactly where I would have put it.
But he's on the lower end of decent, I think.
No, I think that's even unfair. I think, looking back on it now, when I watch some of his promos now, I think the accent doesn't help. Because it's that sort of Canadian nice accent.
But I remember there's a Royal Rumble pay-per-view we watched last month where I think it's Brett versus Bulldog as the main event or the match before the Rumble. And Brett cuts a promo before coming out to the ring. And it's really not good.
Mm.
So he has some stinkers in him. Does our Brett.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But there we go.
All right, one more.
Okay.
Goldberg.
Oh. Is saying you're next a promo, Jack?
Didn't say a lot, but what he said. And then his in work as well.
I think he's decent. Obviously, he's had terrible matches. Absolutely god-awful matches. When he has those explosive moments, when he's given what is traditionally a Goldberg match, he's pretty good.
Would that be great in the ring then?
No, because he had that match with William Regal. I don't think anyone who ever has that match with William Regal can ever be called great in ring.
Yeah, that was Regal being a twat though. That's not his fault. Like that was him not even a year into the business.
Yeah, exactly.
And someone being a twat with him. All right. Okay. Actually, one more now.
Okay. Last one. We promise.
Lesnar.
Great. I think.
Great on the mic.
I think so. You'd be surprised.
I am surprised.
Yeah. They gave him Heyman when he didn't need Heyman. Think back to. Granted, his vocabulary as a promo is limited. For what he's done. Think back to the Roman versus Lesnar stuff just before Triple H took over. Paul wasn't with him. He was on his own. And he was just being like this really funny cowboy guy who was just pissing off Roman.
Yeah, true.
And he did some stuff, even early on in his career, when he was feuding with like The Undertaker and stuff like that. He still held his own with the likes of Angle. He had a huge program with Angle.
Yeah,
if Angle was that much better than Lesnar on the mic, he'd have eaten him alive.
Yeah, you talked me around though.
But he didn't.
You talked me around.
Great in the ring, I think, is no question in my mind. He's one of the greatest sellers that there's ever been.
He doesn't. I remember watching a video, and I can't remember what video it was or who did it, but he's one of the greatest kick-out artists.
Yeah. He's the master of the 2.9, I think.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he gets
I stand by it. If anyone disagrees with me, they're free to disagree with me in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say, but he's great in my eyes. Shall we wrap things up?
Yes.
Before we really get yelled at by the people watching.
Yeah, because I keep saying one more, and I've got at least a list of 10 in my head. So
Exactly.
Charlotte Flair? No.
No Charlotte Flair. Thank you very much for watching the Headlock Talkover podcast. Give us a like, a comment, a subscribe. Follow us on Spotify. Give us a rating on Spotify. We'd really appreciate it. Until next time.
Bye.